Thou art possessed of the power, no? How long will it be, I wonder, before the tarnished tire of obeisance to the two fingers, as they recall battles past, and search now for the dark path, and rid the world of all that came before? O Shadow, tell the two fingers, my war counselor, cometh to rend thy flesh.
I'm TheKoop. I am a Twitch streamer, YouTuber, content creator, and I mainly make Soulsborne stuff with a little bit of other RPGs sprinkled in too. I've been doing Souls content since Elden Ring came out. So what is that, 10 months now? I guess maybe more like a year, like close to a year. So yeah, it's been really awesome. It's been an amazing journey. I honestly never really dreamed that I would call myself like a Souls creator. I started making content around Elden Ring when it dropped and didn't really expect it to go as far as it's gone. And so I'm really grateful to the broader community for how much support and acceptance that I've been given. It feels really, really sick. My friends would tell me about these player-made covenants, like your own lore, your own kind of group of things. It reminded me a lot of like being part of a guild in World of Warcraft or something. When Dash pitched the idea to me, I was just so in right away. I watched a lot of that stuff, and so I always thought that idea was really cool, but never really joined one or did one myself. And now that I'm in this position of being a content creator, like I was just like, oh yes, hell yes. Like this is the moment. Like finally I get to like make my own player covenant. I'm really excited to see what will happen after the event, and like hopefully it means that like people will keep, you know, cosplaying as those different characters. We can kind of keep that going way after the event is over. I think it's kind of sad that Elden Ring doesn't have covenants, and like we have such a huge amount of growth in the community. When I was first telling people about this on stream, I had to like take a minute to like really explain what covenants even are, because people don't even know what a covenant is anymore. I think it's really fun way of like introducing these newer players to the idea of covenants, and then seeing, you know, kind of where their cogs start turning, you know what I mean? Like just encouraging them to have that first experience of like joining a covenant and then doing PvP with that kind of mindset.
So tell me a little bit about the inspiration behind the War Council.
So when Dash gave me the opportunity to make a covenant, you know how like streamers have signature helmets for their characters? Like, you know, Lost has the like that hat with like, you know, the Lost hat. I just sort of took a deep dive into like, who is EG? What's the deal? Like, what's the lore behind his mask? And then I found this really interesting lore connection between like EG's mirror mask and the Nox mirror mask, and how it's this connection between like the current group of people who are resisting the two fingers and then this like ancient group of people who are trying to resist the two fingers. That's the big lore of the helmets. It's literally a tinfoil hat, which is kind of funny. And so I was like, oh, like that's a fun visual signifier of the group. EG's side of things is more like magical, like he's related to Ronnie and kind of the Carrion Knights and stuff. So strength intelligence build there. And then the Nox side of things is more related to like the God Slayer and the Black Flames. The Nox mirror helmet can be kind of a strength faith type thing, but the whole aim is to resist the influence of the Erdtree. That's essentially what I'm trying to evoke in the Covenant, is that like the Noxtellan people were trying to kill the two fingers themselves. Like that's why that's located there, right? The Finger Slayer blade. Then Ronnie and her homies are also coming there to get it for their own reasons. So it's like these two groups both trying to resist the influence of the fingers.
Do you have any hopes or aspirations for the Covenant?
As far as the Covenant goes, I think I'm pretty excited about the potential of like it just living as a fun way of playing afterwards. Particularly what I'm excited about is having people share their stories. Like if you invade someone and it looks like, visually speaking, just on your own judgment, it looks like they're like not at all associated with the two fingers. That's like a good person who you could like help out. And yeah, so for me, what I'm hoping comes of it is just that it's another fun way for people to play and invade. One of the goals for my channel is to be that bridge between PvP and PvE. I just see a lot of people who are in the PvE side of things have a distaste for the PvP, and I really like the idea of inspiring people by showing people creative builds kind of more competitive way, where you like learn like what are the good setups and why, and then you use that to make like really interesting off meta builds. Like that's something I really want to do as a channel. And then also, yeah, I want to like play lots of games kind of around Soulsborne that people like. But ultimately for me, like my goal is to be entertaining and fun and let people see that there's a lot of fun to be had in the PvP side of Elden Ring. Like right now I'm doing a randomizer run, which I think is really fun. I'm playing a randomizer PvE experience, but then every 2 hours I take that build into a unmodded version and I bring it into PvP. So I think that's just like another good example of like, well, okay, what happens if we have a completely randomized build, and like, let's make that work.
Last question, where can people find your content?
Yeah, you guys can check me out on twitch.tv/TheKoop. I just recently got partner today. Woo! And also youtube.com/TheKoop1, unfortunately, or you can just look up The Koop on YouTube. That's probably easier. I also do TikTok, TheKoop13 on TikTok, if you like that stuff. I also have a Patreon to support the YouTube stuff, so you can check out all that stuff in the links.